Hello friends, this is Chandrakant from Akulmac Technologies. Welcome to Dobras. Let me also welcome my friend from UK on this bright Monday morning, Mr. Neville Gun.
Good morning, CK. Good morning, everybody. And it's a bright Monday morning in the UK as well. So we're looking forward to some sun again. Don't normally say that about the UK. Normally it's raining. But so what's news? What's headlines today, CK?
Well, today is a very big festival in India, which is called Raksha Bandhan. It is a festival celebrated within families, between brothers and sisters. And you can extend your family by tying knots to other people which are not your blood relations. So it's a very, very pious and very harmonious kind of a festival. So we just celebrated. As you can see, I visited temple in the morning. And
Excellent.
I prayed. Even though I'm a scientific bent of mind, but I still pray sometimes.
Good for you. Good for you. And how about the bigger picture? What's happening out in outer space?
Well, it's quite exciting. So let me take you back a little bit about Elon Musk, whose company is SpaceX. So when he came out of Google, he started working with NASA and he wanted to win some contracts from NASA. So NASA said, okay, whatever, internet guy, he doesn't know anything. We have been at it for last 50 years. We have been firing Saturn rockets. And, this guy is a multi-billionaire. What he knows, he's just a kid. But, in 2003, that was attitude. And in 2020, after 17 years of SpaceX working along with NASA, lots have changed. And they have been firing their own rocket. Now, Neville, let me tell you why there is a need for another private space agency. The whole point is that NASA is a government funded and the funding is never constant. So that is why you need a sustainable model and you need a private participation. And that is why the companies like SpaceX and there are other companies there who are participating in partnership with NASA and trying to reduce the cost of space launches. So that is the whole premise behind it. And the SpaceX has launched their satellites and their technology is indigenously developed by them. It is not that something has come from NASA. So they are thinking out of the box. One of the things that the SpaceX has done is they are not using the aluminum for their spacecrafts. They are using stainless steel. And the obvious question is that why you would choose a more heavier substance. So there is a whole lot of logic. I think we cannot cover all of that, but I think it's all coming because of the innovation which are coming from within the company called SpaceX. And NASA has signed up with them for 6 launches. And recently, as you know, it is a big news. They have actually successfully conducted a manned flight. And yesterday, they had a touchdown in the Gulf of Mexico. Successfully, 2 astronauts returned back to Earth in their spacecraft. So they have been signed up by NASA for a contract of $2.6 billion for 6 space flights. 2 are already done, 4 are coming up. I think the overall plan is to go up to space station and make a docking as a first step.
It's brilliant, and as you say, the thing about public funded enterprises like NASA, etc. We don't know how long that funding is going to be there, and as there's no race for space anymore, which is great. This is a collaboration around the world, and hopefully we'll get countries collaborating more to look for the space, what space technology can actually help back on the UK, because a lot of the things that we have developed over the years in the UK have actually come from the space race. Things, new materials, how we use materials, even the breathers for the COVID came out of the space race discussion. So there's a tremendous amount of innovation that's coming out of something that we took for granted, actually, over many years. And I watched the touchdown yesterday. I mean, in the States, we talk about touchdowns in American football, but the touchdown, the real touchdown, was a splashdown. And you know, the last splashdown, as far as America is concerned, was back in the 1970s. Some people weren't even born when these things came down yesterday. These are amazing. You see this little capsule coming out of nowhere with 5 or 6 huge parachutes, and then it just hits the water. And again, I remember the days where they would have this huge recovery operation where all of the astronauts went into quarantine and you weren't allowed to see them or talk to them. And now these 2 astronauts just got out of the capsule, you know, waved, and they're already at home with their families. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? How we've progressed. But I want to talk a little bit about innovation, because there's lots of organizations out there, small organizations, that can be really innovative if they took their mind to it. You and I have interviewed Satya, for instance, and he's really pushing the boundaries. He's being very smart in the area of electric vehicles. But let's just think about what this word innovation is. So I want to take people back to candles. We're going back to the beginnings of last century, where really the only form of light was candles. And to be really creative and innovative in the candle arena was to make bigger candles, more attractive candles, candles that were longer lasting, you know, ones that were you never had to put out, you know, because it was just as cheap to let them run. And if we'd have concentrated on the candle, Edison would never have come up with a light bulb, because the light bulb isn't a candle. It's creating light, but it's not a candle. So that's true innovation. And again, you might talk about the Ford motor car. If Henry Ford had focused on the traditional methods of transportation, the horse and cart, and created more dynamic, you know, better horses, you know, more attractive, more athletic horses with super streamlined carts, the Ford motor car would never have come out. So we need to think about ourselves. How innovative are we? Have we got an innovative step that we're doing, but we haven't really recognized it because it's common sense to us? So this week, just think about, have you taken that innovative step? Have you created something that is actually really rather unique, but you haven't explained it well enough to show how unique it is? You and I have in the past have laughed about the Bic pen and a Mont Blanc, you know, and how the Mont Blanc is a feeling. It's, you know, when you hold the Mont Blanc, it's a feeling of using that pen. Whereas a Bic, you know, is a common or garden pen, and we all use it because it's a functional pen. And in some respect, the Mont Blanc is innovation in the feeling world. You know, it's appealing to people's feelings about, this makes me feel good, not because it costs me more money, but I like the feel of it. I like the look of it. Whereas a Bic is functional. So have you got a product which is more than functional? Have you got a service which is more than functional? In which case then, look at the innovative step that you've taken. You may think, oh, it's just being smart. But actually, the majority of people will say, wow, that's innovation. So I hope that helps today. You know, we've come a long way from space travel and your wonderful festival. But we've got a short week because there's only 5 days. Well, it's only 5 days anyway, but you know what I mean? How are you going to use the week?
Yeah, I wanted to also speak about one more thing. that while NASA has given SpaceX $2.6 billion contract for 6 launches, they've also signed up with Boeing, which is an aircraft company, for $4.2 billion. So I think we are discussing about innovation, and definitely Falcon 9 as a spacecraft from SpaceX, which is Elon Musk's company, is a lot of innovation, because I think they are able to launch their spacecrafts at 30% of the cost of NASA. So that is the innovation. But even this innovation is being challenged, or going to be challenged, by another large company called Boeing, which is also a private organization. So when we talk about innovation, I think I want to extend your point is, I mean, if you have done some innovation, you better talk about it at the right time. Otherwise, there'll be competition. They will better innovate. They will take the lead because they are talking about it. So I think the innovation is one thing. And you mentioned about Edison bulb. I think the whole Tesla was behind the lighting the bulb, because if the innovation was only limited to the light bulb, I mean, you need electricity to light the bulb. So Tesla came up with the infrastructure so that you can, people in Boston can light their bulb. So I think
Yep.
that's the whole thing. So the message, I think, that I understand when you talked about innovation as a businessman, is that if you have an idea which is innovative, talk about it. Otherwise, world will not listen to you after 6 months, because there will be other players with the similar ideas.
You're absolutely right. I mean, the interesting thing is, we're going through COVID. We haven't come through it yet. It's still there. It's still a disease that we can't cure. There's no vaccine. It's on the rise in certain places. We've seen spikes where we'd never thought we would get spikes. In Melbourne, Australia, that thought that they'd eradicated it, all of a sudden, huge lockdown. What we need is for people now to think more innovatively. And I'm not just talking about putting your workshops into an e-learning arena. That's what you should be doing anyway, so get out and do it. I'm really talking about those innovative steps that that you've done, but you haven't quite thought that they were innovative, because you just took the step. It was obvious to you. Well, as you say, it was obvious to Tesla. It was obvious to Edison. But look how difficult it was for them to explain it to others, because they were focused on the candle. So this is hard work, really. But now, because the world's so small, the internet has made the world small, you can actually find lots of other people out there that are taking that innovative step along with you. So be collaborative, be innovative, let's get it out there, and come and talk to us, because we want to show this innovation arena. And there's so much with small businesses that never gets to fruition because no one talks about it. Now's the opportunity to come and talk about it.
Absolutely, Neville, and I think these are very, very strong message that you have given today. We will catch up tomorrow again with some other business aspect. You have a nice day today. Enjoy your Monday morning.
Thanks, CK. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.